Hey girl, we're back with another video. I did want to come in and tell you that I get extremely emotional in this video. However, I am perfectly fine. You know, sometimes you get to thinking about reminiscing and bring the tears, but I'm so fine. So stay tuned and check out the video. Thank you, girl. Good morning, sunshine. So, it's morning. It's about, where my watch did? Where my charger? 10:17, girl. It's 10:17 a.m. I've been up. I woke up about 9. Got up, washed my face, brushed my teeth, washed my hands, and put my contacts in. Did you grow up like where your grandma was like, honey, make sure that you wash your face, brush your teeth? Like, as soon as we got out of the bed, the first thing we had to do was wash our face, brush our teeth, and wash our hands. You could not come basically out until you did that. And she'd be like, honey, did you wash your face? Did you brush your teeth? Did you wash your hands? Something about washing them hands when you get up, girl. Grandma didn't play that, child. So this morning, I think I'm going to have some crab and some grits. Yesterday I had, what did I have yesterday? I had sugar grits, which was really, really good. But I think I'm going to have crab and grits this morning. And some coffee. I'm on my coffee kick right now. You know, when I really first got sick with that cold, I could not taste the coffee. And I was basically I felt like wasting coffee because I couldn't taste it. And I would end up just throwing it away. So, coffee too expensive to throw away, honey. Coffee like $20 for, how many you get? This is what I get. The Pete's Major Coffee. Major Dickinson's Blend. But I like all Pete's coffee. As long as it's dark roast. I have to have a dark roast. 22 for like, what, $18, $19? Which is absolutely outrageous. So, we got to drink that, honey. We can't be wasting that, girl. At all, baby. Oh, my tummy. I gotta clean that refrigerator out again. I stay cleaning that refrigerator out, I swear. Oh, I hate it. It is such a chore, but honey, it's time to clean it out again. Trying to get my coffee stirred up this morning. This is my favorite creamer, like favorite. I love this creamer. But I need to go to the post office. I do need to go to the post office today because I need to send some stuff back to Amazon that I cannot wear. I'm gonna show you. I got these panties. They are actually skin tone, like, you know, brown. They're so gorgeous, but girl, I don't know who the heck they made them panties for Zoe. Talking about they were for grown women. Ain't no way, baby. And they are extra large. I usually wear like a large, extra large. Them panties so small. I don't know who the heck they thought was gonna wear them panties. Not no grown woman. Let me say this. Not no grown African American woman. I don't know, because these white girls these days be having some butts, honey. So I can't even say that, baby. Because y'all white girls be having some butts these days, honey. You really, really do. So, I ain't gonna say it's just I ain't gonna say that just for us, because y'all be having some butts, girl. I guess the camera following my face. I don't know what my settings be on, to tell you the truth, child. I need to really dig more into settings and making sure I get the settings right and stuff. What you have for dinner today? I think I'm going to do maybe like a, I don't know, I'm in the grilling mood right now since it's, you know, so warm outside. I thought about like making some hot dogs. I gotta go get some, I want some chili and probably onions. That's gonna be good. Chili, onions, hot dogs, and maybe some baked beans. You know, beans do me bad, girl. I ain't gonna lie. Ooh, child. They do you, girl, kind of bad, but I think I want to do that today. Yep. Some dogs and baked beans. I need to go to my son's gravesite to put, I bought some flowers for about 3 weeks ago that I need to take over there to put on his gravesite. And I tell you, that is one of the hardest trips ever. I hate making that trip. I just do. I do not like making that trip at all. Oh, so I don't go as often as I should. I don't go as often as I should. I hate going to that cemetery. You know, the weirdest thing is that, I don't know, like, it's almost like when my grandma died, like, I don't feel like, it's so weird to me. I don't feel like she's in there, like, in the ground, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, I never thought about it like this until my grandma passed. Like, I never had the feeling that she was in the ground. So I almost like can't connect with her grave. And I kind of feel like that with my son. Like, I don't feel like, I know his body is there, but I don't feel like he's there, so it's kind of hard for me. It's almost like I'm visiting to be going through the motions, but I don't feel like he's in that ground. You know what I'm saying? I know that might sound a little cray-cray, but I don't know. I don't feel like he's there. So, visiting his grave is always weird for me. I don't have a connection to the grave. It might be weird and sound weird, but I don't. Like, it's like, even though I know that's his final resting, well, his body's final resting spot, I just don't feel like they're in the grave. It's so weird, and a lot of people will probably find it very weird that, you know, the frame of mind that I'm in regards to that. But for some reason, I don't feel like they're in the grave. And so visiting those graves are, does that make sense? Tell me if that at all resonates with you or it makes any sense. I don't know. The day that my grandmother passed, we were there. We were there in the room. I spent a lot of time with my grandma. Like, she was in the hospital a lot. But I spent a lot of time with my grandma all my life. All my life. I was telling my husband, I told him this before, like, my grandma and I were so close. I was the first born grandchild. We were so close that I don't even remember my mom in my younger years. I know that's crazy, but I remember my grandma. I don't really remember my mom a lot. My mom was young, very young when she had me, and she was very young when she had me. I guess it was like really a disconnect with she and I, and that happens sometimes. You know, when a parent is really, really young, when they have kids, like, I feel like something, you know, you don't have that connection that, I don't know. Anyway, my mom was very, very young when she had me. So, there was a disconnect. And I remember being with my grandma all the time. I don't remember being with my mom like that when I was younger. Fast forward years later, my mom moved out. I moved with my mom for a few years, but I ended up moving back home with my grandma. Like, my grandma, I moved back home with her, and then when I finally moved out and got my own place, I lived not that far from my grandma. So, maybe like 20 minutes from my grandma. 15, 20 minutes from my grandma, not that far. So, my grandma and I, we were still together all the time. Like, I saw her every day. Like, to be honest, I saw her every day. And we were so close. So I've always been a grandma's girl. Like, I've always been a grandma's girl. So fast forward till she gets sick. Like, I became her primary caretaker, basically. She lived with my mom, but I took her to every doctor's appointment. When my grandma never, ever liked staying in the hospital, like, ever. She hated that. So I would take her to all her hospital visits. If they admitted her, I would stay with her. I would take my clothes. I would take my clothes and I would stay there. I'd take a bath at the hospital, go to work, come back. I would pack like a bag for like a week. However long my grandma was going to be in the hospital, girl, I was going to be there. However long she was going to be. We were packing a bag and we were staying however long grandma was going to be there. And I always did that. Like, I always did that. The last year of her life, she was hospitalized quite frequently. So she and I had so many conversations. Like, we always talk, but it's like my grandma had started to prepare me for her death. She knew she was dying, and I think she tried her best to prepare me. And girl, I would just lose it. Like, some days I would go to the hospital and we'd be in the hospital, room and stuff. We'd be talking or whatever, and I just look at her, and I would have to go out to the car. I would go out to the car and scream and yell and cry. I never let her see me cry. Like, I wanted her to, know that I would be okay. And she knew I would be okay because she knew that she had equipped me with what it was that I needed to be okay. So, I remember asking her one time, was she scared? And she was like, no, baby, I'm not scared. Well, no, I'm not scared. She said, I'm just trying to, get my mind right, but no, I'm not scared. And one time we were talking and I asked her something. She said, baby, I can't stay here. She said, I worked a long time to see Jesus. And I can't see Jesus if I stay here. I got to leave here in order to be able to see Jesus. And I was like, wow. It's like she was so brave. And sometimes I would just catch her, she have her eyes closed, she just quiet. And I said, Grandma, what you thinking about? And she'd be like, I'm just meditating, baby. Just meditating on the Lord. Like, she often it's like she would just go somewhere else. And she was saying she was meditating with the Lord. And so on her last day that night, she was really alert the early morning night. The whole family, everybody got to come in and say their goodbye. She was alert. But we knew, they said, it wouldn't be long. So our whole family, like, even extended cousins and stuff came and said their goodbyes, thank yous, and this and that. And it was so emotional. So the next day, I needed to run to work for a few minutes. So I ran to work, but I stayed there all night. I was up all night long. My mom spent the night that night. We were up all night long, and she was making noises and, stuff, but she wasn't here. She had kind of, basically left. So, I whispered in her ear the next day. So I went to work. They called me. It's like, you might want to hurry up and come back. So I went back, and when I got back, she of course it was evident that she was leaving. And it's like she was just holding. And I whispered in her ear, and I told her, I said, Grandma, it's okay to let go. And it's like, after I said that, a few minutes later, she let go. And I told her I will always love her. I will always love her, and I will always thank her that I would be okay. And that she could let go. And see, my grandma was my cheerleader. When I tell you she was my everything, she was my everything. She was my cheerleader. She was my confidant. She was my prayer warrior. She was my just anything that you could think of. She was that. She was my friend. You know what I'm saying? She was my friend. She was everything. And ooh, losing her was like, oh my God, it was so. But you know, like my grandma was a big lady, and I had asked God to give me the strength to do whatever I need to do for her. So she wasn't very mobile. She could help you a little bit, but not a lot. And when I look back how I was able to maneuver the wheelchair and move her around and do stuff, it's amazing. It was nothing but God, because I didn't even weigh as much then as I weigh now. I was really smaller. She died in 2009. So I was a lot smaller. And I don't know. I worked out though. I worked out really good. But to maneuver grandma in the chair like I did and help take her down like the step in a wheelchair. I don't know how. God, nothing but God gave me the strength to do all that stuff. And because at the end, when I look back, it was just amazing. Like, my job, I was a manager, but it's like I was hardly ever at work because I was always doing something with her or had to go just do so much. And it was crazy. I was hardly ever at work. And they would just be like, go ahead, don't worry about it. Do what you need to do. Take care of your grandma. It was amazing. God just provided everything. My job wasn't in jeopardy. Nothing. Like, he provided everything that I needed to be able to take care of her, like I had asked him to do. My profession was not like healthcare, and I didn't know anything about taking care of somebody. My mom and my sister, their profession is healthcare. They're great at it, but I knew nothing. But it got to the point where I had to bathe her. Let me tell you something. It could be a million of y'all. Most of the time, it's only going to be 1 or 2 people that really take care of somebody when they get sick. And sometimes it may be just one. And it was a lot. Like, I would just get off work, go. I would bathe her. I was just able to do so much. But God just gave me so much strength to be able to do everything that I needed to do for her. I was really squirmish about taking care of people like that. So like I said, that's not my profession. But God gave me everything I needed to be able to do that and not feel squirmish. And it was like nothing. It was like nothing. So the morning that she died, when my grandma, we was sitting there looking, and she had started doing those breaths, like it was really hard to grasp. I saw 2 white birds fly by her window as she took her last breath. And I swear in my mind, it feels like they just ushered her on out. And so the body that was left, I felt like grandma had left. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I went all the way around the world, I guess to say. I feel like she had left. I never felt like grandma went in that ground. I never associated with that body, which is weird. But, so I never feel like my grandma is in the ground. I never feel like she's in the ground. Even though her earthly body is, I just don't associate the grave with her. Same thing with my son. So to visit these graves, I do still to, put flowers and stuff, but I don't associate with these graves. I don't associate them being in those graves. My son, I didn't get to see him before he passed, or when he passed, he had already passed. And so I didn't get to go to the hospital. Sometimes I feel so robbed because I didn't get to go to the hospital and stuff, I didn't get to whisper nothing to him. He was gone. But so I guess that's why I hate to visit the cemetery so bad. But I need to go put those flowers on his grave and her grave, really. Her grave is easier because she's at my church, so sometimes I go out there. Not very often, but sometimes I go out there, you know, stay for a few minutes or whatever. It's so hard. It really is, but God is good. He'll do whatever it is that you need for him to do. He'll give you what you need. He just will. He will. He'll show up and you'll be able to do things that you never thought that you would be able to do. Like I even in handling, I remember when my grandma, after she passed, that morning I drove myself home. Everybody's like, you can't drive home, you shouldn't drive home, you don't need to drive. And I was like, no, I needed to drive home. It's like the tears dried up and I drove myself home. Now I did. I came and got straight in the bed and girl, I bawled. It's like I held myself together to leave that room, to get in that car, to drive home, which is probably like about 45 minutes away. And when I got home, probably about 40 minutes away, it's like that's when it just opened up. But I guess I didn't realize that we didn't realize my grandma had got old. I don't know if you heard me say that. If you've been rocking with me for a while, then you probably remember. We didn't realize she had gotten old. My grandma was so on the go. She never she never really got sick though. Grandma was pretty healthy. She had diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, but she never got sick till the last year of her death, which is so crazy. And I had taken her to a routine visit. And with her doctor, Dr. Bird, she loved Dr. Bird, child. I would get off work, take her to the doctor. Like, it was just, oh my God. So, I remember her sitting in a chair, and I looked at her, sitting in a wheelchair, and a voice said, Death. And girl, let me tell you something. I nearly lost it right then and there because I never thought about my grandma dying. Like, my grandma was 81 at that appointment. I never thought about grandma dying. I thought about her dying, but she had always been with us. I mean, think about it. She had always been there and never really been sick. So we didn't realize she had gotten old. That's that. And one day she was in the hospital. I had been up there all night, so I came home to get some clothes, and I broke down in the living room because that's when I realized my grandma had gotten old. And I realized her age at that point. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I didn't even realize, we as a family did not realize she had gotten old because she was always on the go. Church. Anytime we went somewhere, grandma was ready. She'd call, honey, come ride me today. Like, we would go pick her up, ride her around. But it's like we didn't realize she had gotten old right in front of us. And we didn't realize it. We just didn't. And I miss my grandma. Sometimes I sit and but let me tell you something. The year before she passed, like, when I, struggling so hard and stuff, it might have been like November. It was hot. It was still hot outside because I pulled her back in the house from a doctor's appointment in that wheelchair. And when I tell you nobody helped me, nobody helped me. Contrary to what people want to say, nobody helped me. It's one person always, I did when they did, but they didn't really do. You know what I'm saying? So I pulled her back in that house, and I was so exhausted. I was sweating. I was hot. It was like 100 degrees outside. And it was like a little wooden piece of wood that I had to come up the steps with. I'm telling you, when I tell you God gave me strength, I don't know how. But he did. We got back in that house, and I was so hot, tired, and exhausted. And she said, come here for a minute. and I was getting ready to leave. She said, come here for a minute, babe. So I walked over to her, and she grabbed my hand, and she was like, I want to thank you for everything that you do, baby, and you have done for me. I thank you for everything. And I was like, Grandma, you don't have to thank me. You know, I started trying, like, and I was getting kind of, because I knew we were coming to the end by that point. And I don't know, like, it was, and she was like, and then she was like, no, and she wouldn't let go of my hand. She grabbed my hand real tight, and she looked me right in my eyes, and she said, no, baby, because you don't have to do the stuff that you do, and I want to thank you for it. And I said, Grandma, and girl, tears started coming out. I said, Grandma, you know, you have done so much for me. You have given me so much that I could never, ever repay you for all that you've done for me. So all I can do right now is just be here for you because you've done so much for me. And she was like, well, baby, I just want you to know how much I appreciate you and how much I love you. You don't have to do the stuff that you do. And I never complained. Like, even though sometimes I would be tired, it would be so hard. She was hard, you know, to handle. Like, sometimes she was so heavy. But God gave me the strength to do what I need to do. And if I don't know, you know, why this came out this morning. Sometimes don't come out. I never know why these videos turn like they do. But pray to God, ask him to give you strength to get through sickness, illness, helping people, do whatever you need to do. He will give you all the tools and everything you need if you pray and sincere and ask him just to give you the strength and give you the ability to do everything you need to do. He will do it because he did it for me. And I don't know why this video took the turn into it, but I'm about to eat, girl, and I will holler back at you later because my battery about to go dead anyway. But sometimes these things, God has reasons why he wants things to go the way they go. Because you know this video was not going in direction. But anyway, I'll holler back at you later, girl. Bye.